Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Tuesday Digital Media Sync. Today, we are going to be doing part 2 of holiday online sales in unprecedented times. This is a time where retail locations are open, but they're open in a limited manner. There's probably more online competition, so you want to make sure that your small retail business is ready for the holiday season. So last week we had a part 1, and that is now residing on the Digital Media Sync tab at nhvknown.com. So you can go there and review that particular episode. This episode, we're going to be talking from the perspective of ad sales and more along the lines of utilizing Google. So there are other ways of selling online and advertising online. You can use Facebook and Twitter, and I've talked about Facebook ads in a previous Digital Media Sync. So this is really something that is a continuation of other Digital Media Syncs, but we're going to focus on e-commerce, retail, and holiday sales specifically. Last week, I utilized a presentation, a document that I downloaded from BigCommerce. And BigCommerce is one of the commerce platforms. So that's where all of your products are being uploaded into your website. So it's Shopify, BigCommerce, e-commerce. So there's a variety to work with. So I am going to pop this new one up on the screen. And I'm going to put it into presentation mode. Okay. Well, I guess it's the way it is. All right. So this is actually a PDF, and I am going to take this PDF and put it up on the Digital Media Sync tab of the website. I'm just taking a look at if there are any questions or comments. So if you want to say hi, any questions or comments, please do so. I can look at my comment section and answer any questions and say hi back to you. So that's always fun. All right, so let's get started. So this is I've actually downloaded this as a Google Doc, so it can be a PDF or a Google Doc, and I'll throw it up on the website for you so you can take a look at it. And this is Drive Sales and Reach More Customers with Google, and it's specifically for retail. So they give you many, this is a 44-page document, and we're not going to go through all 44 pages. I'm just going to highlight some of the items that I found interesting. But there's five basic areas that they talk about. So the first one is be discoverable. So it says every day, hundreds of millions of people turn to Google to find, discover, and shop for what they care about. And the 5 items that we're going to talk about: be discoverable, build your brand. This is a theme throughout. The last document that I had popped down, downloaded was from BigCommerce, and that's the first thing that they said was build your brand. Acquire new customers, increase sales, and your marketing checklist. So all of this is going to be on the Digital Media Sync page of nhvknown.com. So it says the average online shopping journey has over 140 touch points that can influence what people buy and who they buy it from. And 75% of global shoppers use a Google product, whether it be search, maps, or YouTube, just in the past week to help with shopping. So even when people are shopping in store, you want to make sure that you have access and you provide access to all of these touch points. And one of the things that we've talked about in previous Digital Media Sync episodes is making sure that your business is listed in Google Business, and you have a Google Business profile. And that's going to put you on the Google map. That's going to help make you accessible to search, along with having your website be accessible through SEO. You have your advertising there, you have your analytics there. So everything kind of like comes together in Google. But when a customer is looking for you, yeah, they're using Google. They're using Google Search. They're using Google Maps. They're using Google Shopping as well. Google Shopping has been around for quite some time. And that's where you upload your database of products. Okay, so every one of these touch points, every one of these moments is a window into what your customers care about, which they're saying, because this is their document, no one understands them better than Google. So here you have all your different touch points. You have your search, and oftentimes when you're searching just a regular search, but you can search images, you can search news, you can search on the map. YouTube is another area where people search how-tos, unboxings that different stores or brands have. So there's a lot of areas there. Even email is an area where people can advertise, business owners can advertise. So in this guide, you'll learn how to meet your customers every step of the way, specifically on Google. So here it says build your brand. And I'm not going to talk a lot about building your brand. Obviously, this is something that you should already have in focus and be aware of. And this is just a matter of, I would say, rolling out your brand, right? What does your brand look like in all of these different areas? So make sure that you have that available. And good morning, Lance. So they're taking this from a global perspective, and here they're saying that 60% of Canadian viewers say that YouTube makes them more aware of new brands. So here they're talking about telling your brand story, and they're utilizing the example of 53% of Canadian shoppers are looking to make sure the products are relevant to them and their lifestyle before purchasing a new brand. That's why it's important for brands to not only appear in those searches, but to create real value and meaning. So they're talking about connecting and inspiring with video. And video makes a really great connection that anything else online really does not do, right? Because you feel like you're being spoken to. You can see people and brands, things move around. You can hear somebody's voice. These are all connection points. So videos has very many connection points. So here they're talking about what I had just spoken of, unboxing videos or influencer content. So YouTube was probably one of the very first influencer video platforms, just because it was one of the very first video platforms. So unboxing or having an influencer unpackage, receive a package and open it up and then kind of show how it works and what they feel about it. You see this a lot with makeup. I personally don't wear makeup, but for some reason I love watching makeup videos. I love watching people put makeup on and describe it and that sort of thing. It's kind of interesting to me. But you can basically unbox anything. One of my clients, I would ask them to let me know when they were getting a box of products in from different vendors or manufacturers and have them unbox. So it was either home goods or linens or jewelry or dishes, and kind of play with the product and describe it for the viewers. And that was something that really made a lot of sense and made a big difference as well. So being able to show your audience how you can use a particular product, um, or stage a particular product, whether it's setting a dining room table or what clothing would look like on, different body types, or jewelry and showing, kind of like the shine and the shimmer, and how it goes on the wrist, or how it falls on a neck, that sort of thing. That's probably why before there was even video, you have something like, what was it, QVC, and that's still around, where people are actually showing how the products work. So especially when it comes to holiday shopping, and the customer wants to make sure that the product that they are purchasing is going to be the perfect thing for the person who's receiving the gift. So making sure that that brand is going to deliver on its promise is really very huge. So that's one of the ways that video is definitely one of the ways to build your brand and make sure that your product or the products that you carry are the ones that are going to be purchased. QVC, remember QVC? Oh my goodness. Just spending hours on QVC. Okay, I admitted that. I didn't buy anything, but it was kind of funny to me. I don't know. Anywho, be the answer when they search. So mobile searches contain popular and brands, containing popular and brands have grown by more than 80% in the past few years. So in the US, use responsive search ads to answer those searches with flexible and personalized ads. So here you see popular clothing brand for 2020, popular clothing brands near me. So again, even retail locations, brick and mortar retail locations, really have to step up their game when looking, when thinking about how people search. So again, if you are searching for a gift and you haven't gotten a lot of help from the person who's receiving the gift, you can start with popular clothing brands, or something that may have to do with who the receiver is, as far as what their likes are, what you've seen kind of around. So think about it from that. So popular, best, brands, that sort of thing. So think about it from that perspective. Make more visible and useful ads. So this is really huge. I know when I am doing, I'm going to stop right here, even though it says brand metrics, but I'm going to talk for a minute about ads, and specifically Google ads. Usually, when people think about Google ads, actually, I'm just going to put me on. This is something important. This is important. Usually, when people think about Google ads, they think about it from the perspective of search terms and search ads, and they think about keywords specifically. And they don't really go beyond that. And usually what happens with that is you really are stuck in that middle of that bidding war, right? This keyword is this much on auction, blah, 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 and the prices keep rising and rising. There is a myriad of ways to advertise on Google. And what people don't think about often, and businesses don't think about, and I'm going to let you in on this little secret, is you can do two things: display, and display responsive specifically, and then there's also smart ads. So when you're talking from a perspective of a retail location, utilizing smart ads does a bunch of different things. One, it widens the area or broadens the area that you can actually advertise. So you're not just in search, you're also on Google Maps, you can be in Gmail, you can be on display, and there's very easy steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, where they'll ask you for a headline, they'll ask you for images, they'll ask you for a logo, they'll tell you to write a couple of different descriptions so you can kind of see what works as far as descriptors. And then Google builds out the ad with and for you. And this has been really, really helpful for retail clients. So if you know what your brand is, if you know what you're delivering, if you have images that are high quality images, you have your logo, you have a tagline, you have a page for people to drop in on, you have yourself located on Google Maps as well, you're good to go. As a retailer, you're good to go. And the pricing usually is comparable to a small budget, or it's available for a small budget. The other advertising, it's a little bit more, I wouldn't say complicated, it's a little bit more involved for Google. So in this case, again, you want to make sure that you have images. You can also have video or not have video. Also, in all of these cases, make sure that you have at least 10 keywords that you're working with. But this is mostly, again, headlines and descriptions, and there's a variety of headlines and descriptions. And then you also have your images, your logo, any video, and you load all of those things up and you advertise on Google that way as well. The other thing that you might want to try, and I have mentioned this before, that I feel, even for me, it's a little bit more difficult to put your products up on Google. I feel like it's a little bit more involved than it is for Facebook, but there is that ability to put your products up on Google as well through a database system. All right, so I'm going to pop this back on the screen. I just wanted to make that note about all of the different ways that you can advertise on Google. And I find that using display and using YouTube as well, it's a lot more, the price point is a lot lower. So I talk about this in several, I have 3 or 4 videos where I talk very specifically about Google advertising, but I don't want to get too far into that right now. I'm using Google, this Google document as a base for making some other points, but take a look at that. All right, so the things you want to look at as far as your brand metrics, and again, have this set up ahead of time. It's so important to have this set up ahead of time because that way you're not like rooting around afterwards, or if you fall into an issue where it's like, wow, I'm not getting sales and I don't know why this is. So you want to make sure that your Google dashboard is set up so that you can easily see in a report the number of impressions, the reach and frequency, so how many times visitors are exposed to an ad. And this is actually in your Google Ads because there's a dashboard in Google Ads as well. So what I like to do is I like to compare what's going on in Google Ads to what's going on in analytics and kind of match everything up. Brand lift. This is a newer term. Brand lift studies use surveys to measure a viewer's reaction to the content, message, or product, and this is specifically in your video ads. So there's that. Okay, acquire new customers. Holiday season is really a great time to acquire new customers, right? Because especially if you're focused, a lot of times the customer's focus is on products more so than the location. There are definitely instances, like if you're talking about larger brands, say Patagonia or LL Bean, people are definitely thinking about, like, I want to go to this particular location to get what I want and need. But that's also true for smaller brands as well. So if there's very niche brands or very niche locations, people want to know that those are available and out. So reach new potential customers who are in the market for products like yours. So 47% of surveyed global customers say that they use Google before buying something new. So again, a lot of times, and this is not just for Google, this is for any kind of review. People will look at reviews for products as well as for locations. So you want to make sure that you are ready for that as well. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And again, this is telling you to use videos actionable for shoppers. So Google has something called True View. True View for Action drives leads and conversions by adding prominent call to actions, headline text overlays, and an end screen to your video ads. So if you go specifically into your YouTube advertising area, which I believe Google Ads still separates the YouTube advertising out, not only as a separate campaign, but as a whole separate series of actions. So take a look at that. So this is engage new customers across feeds on Google. So again, they're talking about Canadians here. I wonder if I got the Canadian version instead of the US version, because I'm seeing a lot of Canadian statistics. But I'll grab the US version. So 42% of Canadians look for brands and products that live easier, that lives are made easier, and increasingly they're looking while scrolling through their favorite feed. So making sure that you have more personalized ads, or you personalize your ads. So one of the things to think about there is advertising is not necessarily just set it and forget it. What that means is you're not just presenting a series of ads, you let it run for 3 months, you close out at, on December 24th. There are steps along the way, and some of these things can be automated. And again, Google Ads makes it very easy. Facebook makes it very easy. Twitter makes it very easy. Whereas, as people are going, as customers, potential customers, are going to your website, data is being gathered. Those profiles are being saved, and when it hits a certain number, usually it's a small number, which is good for small retailers. Usually it's a small number, and like around 200, and those audiences start getting saved in a section called audiences. So be sure to take a look at that section, and it'll show you can start remarketing to these people. These people were interested in these products, or these people were interested, have these interests, or have these particular behaviors, and remarket to those people, because it takes more than one touch. And you'll see in my other videos as well, I'm talking about this all the time. It takes more than one touch to get a customer to buy, and especially when they're not sure about what they're buying. A lot of times it's like, hey, I want this particular item, I got it, boom, it's gone, it's in the bag, and it's getting delivered to me. But often people are weighing on decisions, and it could be anything that sets them to buy or sets them to be distracted from purchasing. So this is talking specifically about shopping ads. So this says, help people discover and explore your brand and products by showcasing shopping ads. So showcase shopping ads lets you group a selection of related products and present them to introduce your brand or business. This is something that Facebook also does, and Facebook and Instagram, as well as Google. So definitely, if you're a marketer and you have, or an agency, and you have clients that are retail clients, start thinking about how things can be grouped as far as products are concerned. So I had shown in a previous video how this worked with one of my clients. Um, they're called Scottish Creations, and all of their products come from Scotland. But there's a wide variety of these products. So there's women's clothing, there's accessories, there's men's items like colognes and soaps and little whiskey holders and that sort of thing, or caps, men's caps, so men's clothing as well. There's home goods and linens, so you have tea towels. So there's a wide variety of products. The only thing that kind of brings it all together is that they're all from Scotland, or they all have something to do with Scotland. But this also gives the opportunity, if you're looking for a gift for a woman, then you're thinking about shawls and specific types of scarves, or throws and that sort of thing, or jewelry, like how, necklaces and earrings. I think whiskey is for both men and women, or everybody actually who drinks. So, whiskey products are products that have to do with either, a tumbler of some sort, or a stopper, glasses, whatever that is, and then, or flask. So these are all products that can be advertised in a group. And then so this is giving you an example of Urban Outfitters. And so they are showing a variety of jeans. So a variety of jeans and different cuts of jeans and that sort of thing. So that's like a very simple way of grouping. Okay, so this is something I got ahead of myself, or I got ahead of the retail guide, because this is where they're talking about remarketing. And there's different ways to remarket. So there's standard remarketing. So standard remarketing shows ads to your past visitors as they browse sites and apps on the display network. So this is what I was talking about. When you're on the display network, Google's kind of following you around. It's true. To again, gather data, and then as you're looking for things and at things, it's gathering this data, and then it's repurposing ads. Then there's dynamic remarketing, show ads that include products or services that people viewed directly on the website. So this is a step beyond your standard remarketing, where people are just kind of browsing around. This is directly on your website. You have to have a piece of code that follows this person around as they hop off of the website, and it's when they don't make a purchase. So this is like, hey, you were looking at this, you didn't purchase it, do you want to take another look? Remarketing list for search ads. So this shows ads to your past visitors as they do follow, specifically, again, even further, as they do follow-up searches for what they need. So again, they visited the site and they're still searching for the same thing. And you're saying, hey, no, this is exactly where you want to make this purchase. Don't go anywhere else. There's video remarketing, so it shows ads to people who have interacted with your videos or your YouTube channels. So again, as you're thinking about, do I want to do YouTube? Do I want to have a YouTube channel? If you are thinking about advertising, you can utilize your own videos as a point of data as people are visiting. And then your customer match. So this shows ads to your customers across Google using information that customers have actually shared with you. So they may have shared it in a variety of different ways, including, correspondence or that sort of thing. Whew, okay. I'm going to take a water break. So reaching new in-market shoppers. There's actually something called in-market audiences. I don't know if anybody has used this before. If you have, just pop a note over to me. So in-market audiences means to show ads to people who've been searching for products and services like yours, but have not interacted with your business at all. This, again, this is just really, really powerful stuff. This is talking about people who are interested in the type of products or services that you actually have, and they haven't interacted with you. So you're reaching out directly to a very targeted audience. They already are interested. They just don't know who you are. And then similar audiences, this is to reach new customers with interest related to the users that are already in your audience list. So as you can see, we're starting from the very core, and we're just building out and out and out, drawing more audiences in and bringing them in through the sales funnel. So as this is happening, don't get lost in all of these numbers. Really look at who are your core audiences. This is really, I should do a video just totally on audiences, because there's a lot of information and data, and you want to advertise to each of these segments differently. So your core audiences, you really want them to be coming back. You want them to be buying more product. Audiences that have not become customers, you want to draw them in. You want to find those things that are going to make them that first-time customer. And then there's awareness type advertising for those audiences that are either interested in what you have to offer, but have not been made aware of your particular location, retail location, or online location yet. And those that are that you don't know necessarily if they're interested, but you want to kind of bring them in anyways. So these are all different layers that draw closer and closer and closer to becoming customers. And what we're looking at too is like them becoming longtime customers as well. So in Google Analytics, there's actually a very specific report with audience report that gives you all of the information about your audiences, including demographics, what their interests are, their behaviors, what key terms they've used, where they're coming from geographically, how many times that they've come into your website, lots and lots of information. So make sure that you look at these analytics. This is definitely a big part of your holiday campaign. It's not just advertising, it's actually looking at the data and making refinements as you go. All right, I'm going to skip over launch a new product. And actually what I want to do is I want to skip right down to the list, because we're closing in on the last half hour or last 20 minutes. 15 minutes, because I'm going to talk about a couple of other things that have nothing to do with this. Ooh, okay, but before, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop for a moment. So important, creating a frictionless shopping experience online. So what does that mean? A frictionless shopping experience for omni-channel shoppers, maximize sales. Your website or app is your digital storefront. So put your best foot forward online with a quick and easy evaluation on Grow My Store. So I'm not going to click on that, but I can tell you right now what that means. You want to be easy to find, but once somebody is on your website, you do not want them having to root around for information that they want to have readily available for them. They will get distracted or discouraged very easily. So every step of the way, from the description of the product, photos of the product, if there's any sizing, making sure that you can grab that information really quickly, what colors are available, any information about the uniqueness of the product that they need to have in order to make their shopping experience easier. Make sure that that's available to them, all the way to checkout. So what that means is if it is difficult to do anything like figure out what the pricing is, figure out if there's not free shipping, what the shipping is, if there's going to be gift wrap available or not, how many steps along the way do you have to get to that checkout where you get that final price and you okay it and you purchase the product. There are so many issues that lead up to checkout that people don't think about. So one of the areas to really look at is when you're looking at your Google Analytics is think about what it looks like from the beginning of the purchase, from somebody putting something into the cart or somebody actually looking at the product. So I have a video again in Digital Media Sync which talks about that and what that looks like from the very first moment that somebody looks at a product all the way to checkout. And the numbers may amaze you, may not always amaze you in a positive way, but it's information that you need. All right, what page am I on? I'm going to scroll way, way, way down. Yeah, this is 44 pages. It's a lot of information. And again, I'm going to swap this out for the American version. I'm not exactly sure why I got the Canadian version. Maybe it's just looking into Canada. All right, so your marketing checklist. Here are recommendations to help you build a successful strategy with Google Ads. And I would say a successful strategy with any ads at all. I'm way ahead of Google. So this is find the right customers, right? What did I just talk about? Finding new customers with end market and similar audiences. So make sure that you have that turned way up. There's actually a little toggle switch and the slider, which allows you on Google to click on to end market and similar audiences and pick out what categories that you're looking for from the perspective of what you have available in your retail shop, whether it's online or in store. Audience insights. Make sure that you're taking a look at that. Your audience reports in Google Analytics is so important. I cannot even stress that enough. Set up your remarketing list, and a lot of times the remarketing lists are set up on your advertising platforms already. Tell your brand story with compelling assets across all type of ads. And that's just really a big thing again that I've said quite often was make sure that you have everything planned out ahead of time and make sure that you have your media library, however you save that. So whether it's in Canva or whether it's on your website or whether it's in a folder in Dropbox, make sure that you have everything available at the ready so that way when you're doing your advertising, you're not rooting around all over the place going, where's this video? Where is this image? And just wasting a lot of time. From a video perspective, drive leads and conversions with true view for action. And then help people explore your products with showcase shopping ads. And again, when you do the showcase shopping ads, one of the big things is the fact that you have to have your products up on the shopping area of Google as well. That's a whole other episode. Yeah. Again, on your marketing checklist, create your frictionless shopping experience by making your website or app your digital storefront. So really think about what happens when people enter that digital storefront, right? Because it's visualizing what that store is online. What does it look like? What makes it compelling and an amazing experience? It's like, I definitely have to shop here. Drive product sales online and offline with smart shopping campaigns. Increase foot traffic to your store with local campaigns. So local campaigns used to be called express ads, and now I think they're called smart ads. But it's basically, it sets up again with asking you for headlines, making sure that you have images, making sure that you have your logo right there, and you drop that into the advertising as well, and then that you're on the maps and you're utilizing the Google Business product to the fullest extent. Use both online and offline data for bidding and reporting. So take a look at Google Trends and keywords. There's a keyword tool as well, and it'll give you a good idea of how much the keywords usually cost. And again, the costs go down as you're using more and more display and YouTube video advertising, like way down. Use product insights to understand demand and pricing, and then add popular products to your feed with the best sellers report. And these are all clickable links, so I'll bring that up at the time. Are we done? No, these are just all the sources. All right, yeah, so we're done. All right. Does anybody have any questions? That was a lot. I feel like I covered a lot. I feel like I covered a lot. I don't know how you feel. Okay, so that is the end of this particular episode. Once again, I am going to put this up on nhbknown.com, the website. So you can all take a look at this at your leisure. I'll also take the download, the Google Ads download that has all of this information, and I'll bring that in as well. I wanted to let you know that I am almost done, and Rick from Creative has been helping me. I am almost done with the digital business success. I'm looking out over at my at the whiteboard and all the things I have to do. So basically what that means is these are courses and lessons that are specific to online communications and online advertising. And I've broken everything up into groups. So we're actually talking specifically about advertising, about marketing in general, about online advertising, and about events as well. So the first 3 courses, there we go. The first 3 courses are actually up. And then we're just prettying things up. So that'll be ready very soon. And again, this is part of the $9 per month monthly subscription fee that we have. And that's just part of, this is the first rollout for our Growth Academy. So we're rolling out digital business success first. So stay on the Known Co-working Facebook page or YouTube channel or Digital Media Sync, and all of that will be there. Also take a look at nhbknown.com or the Facebook page for our other Known Live events. We have Pivot Talk, which is once every month, once every 6 weeks, but we also have Connection Corner. So Connection Corner has an episode this week and an episode next week as well. So go to nhbknown.com to learn more about our next 2 episodes, and that's also on Facebook. If you just pop over to the events or to our post, you'll be able to read more about what Connection Corner is doing. And of course, Known Co-working is open. I'm actually sitting in my office right now. But there's dedicated desks that are available. We have 2 floors, 2 of dedicated desks and offices. So just pop over to NHB Known to sign up either for a tour. Make sure you wear your mask. I have my mask. And get a tour. And yeah, that's about it. So again, if you have any questions, even if it's after this particular episode, go ahead and pop them in the comment section. I am always available to answer the questions, and have a great day. I'm gonna go get coffee now. Okay, bye.